tires freaking matter.
Welcome back to the Texas Truck Channel. I'm Craig, and we are at the really soggy, muddy hill. This is going to be interesting today because it is very muddy, and that always makes it interesting, which means tires are a factor. And as you can already tell from the thumbnail of this video, we got another Ranger up here, and we'll talk about those tires and some other things going on with Brian. What do we got?
Oh baby, when was the last time we did a hill test, Craig?
Been a minute.
It's been like more than a month for sure. Look, let's get right into it. We got to tell the people what we're driving. Bam! This is the 2024 Ford Ranger Lariat, and the biggest news here, red hot pepper metallic tint clear coat, which is a great color, by the way. The sun's not out, it's not really hitting it, but it's a great color. But more importantly, Craig, this one has the 2.7 liter EcoBoost, which is the daddy of the segment.
Yeah.
That's good for 315 horsepower, 10 less than the F-150 version, and 400 foot-pounds of torque. It rips.
Look, check out our road test. It rips more than the 465 pound-foot torque Toyota.
So yeah, the hybrid Toyota iForce Max stuff, this kicks them in the teeth and in the groin. It's
not even close.
It's not even close in terms of just performance. And in terms of miles per gallon, it's also better than those.
Weird.
Anyways, that's not what this review is about. This review is about off-road, which is where the Toyotas do a little better than this will probably do. So
Fair enough.
There's trade-offs everywhere. Let's get into it. Because it's Lariat, we have the better headlights, which I know you don't really care about that, but I just want to point that out while we're here. Let's talk about off-road specific things though, Craig. So this one's four-wheel drive, and it has the FX4 package just like our Ranger has. The approach angle is 30.2 degrees, right? Is that right? Mm-hmm. Because it's FX4, we have a bash plate on the front, just like the Broncos do.
Yeah.
That's not plastic. So such an issue we have with the Toyota stuff and some of the GM stuff, and I'm not picking on Toyota, these are the two we compare a lot because I think they're top competitors in the field. There's a lot of plastic everywhere, and this isn't totally excluded. This is plastic, this is plastic, this is plastic, but I want to say that all of this seems to be better screwed together than the Tacoma we owned. And we owned an early version of the Tacoma, and they have gotten better over time. This has less painted parts too, so if you hit a scuff or a ding, you're not going to be immediately in a body shop. That's what I'm getting at. You can replace this panel very cheaply if you need to. You do also have real big boy tow hooks, recovery hooks down here. They're not red, so our boy Tommy at TFL says they don't work, but that's fine nonetheless, they are there.
Ron, you can also, because it's a global Ranger, you can get an ARB Summit bull bar, solve all those problems.
Well, you can't domestically yet, but it is coming. We've heard from ARB, well, through a rep, through ARB. These are coming stateside hopefully next year, all the ARB parts, which is going to transform these things. Just look it up. Aussie Rangers have been out for a year longer than we've had them. They're decked out. They're so cool. In fact, our truck has a lot of stuff from Rival 4x4, the skid plate package from them, and there's a full kit for this truck that's available, and we've used it, and it works excellently. Now, approach is 30.2 degrees. Tire. This is the biggest letdown. I think it's absolutely a crime that this comes on the FX4 truck, because this is single-handedly the worst tire I have ever tested in my entire life.
That's not being hyperbolic either.
No, that's just what it is. Now, I've had some cheap Chinese tires on drift cars that are also awful, but they weren't from a manufacturer. Like, this came from Ford. Look, the Goodyear's like an American brand. It's super cool and all that kind of stuff, but what's better than a Ranger and a Firestone setup? Like, come on. They work great now. We actually have Firestones in our truck, and they are super impressive. And I did not expect them to be as good as they are. These are trash. So there's that. Coming down the side, Craig, we do have optional side rails. Our truck came with these as well, but they don't affect the breakover. We actually didn't scrape these when we went up the hill test on our stock truck the first time we bought it.
But the hills changed, so we're going to pay close attention because the breakover, Brian, is
what is that?
23 degrees, which is
Oh,
not
really?
bad.
That's
not
actually,
bad.
so Tacoma's about 20 degrees. So that is better than that. So that's not awful. That's good to know. Let's keep going down. Maybe it's not Tacoma. I'm thinking something else. I think it's Frontier was 20. Anyways, coming back, same wheel and tire. Now, because we don't have the Raptor, we don't have the 5-link rear suspension, but we do have the leaf spring and a locking rear diff, which the FX4 comes as standard. What I like about Ford, Craig, is you don't have to hit the button to get this sticker package and skid plates and shock change. That's what FX4 gives you. If you want just the diff lock, like maybe you're gonna build one out for yourself, you can just get like a sport trim and then just add a diff lock for $425. Good job, Ford. I like that they're doing that.
Yeah, Ford
That's
does
nice.
a good job of options not costing a whole lot more.
Things like that, freestanding things. Whereas on Toyota, you have to get a trim that gets you a diff lock.
Right.
And then the way that it works is silly too, because you gotta like call your mom, ask her if you can use it. She said, well, let me call the principal, see if they'll let you use it too. Well, did you put it in 4 high before you put it in 4 low? All that silly stuff. This one, you just hit it and go live your life. That's pretty cool. Coming up back, this truck happens to be equipped with a tow package, which gives us this hitch right here. We had to add that to our truck. But the beauty of this, Craig, is this actually ends up being a scrape point. So if we're coming down something for departure, this will take the blunt before the bumper will take the blunt. But by the way, Not plastic. I like that too. That's pretty good. What was the departure angle on this, Craig?
25.8.
25.8. That's pretty respectable. Let's hop in the interior and talk about what off-road goodies we have in there. Pardon me while I open my rear slider. Love that that's power. All right, Craig, let's talk about the goodies that we do get in the off-road world. Unfortunately, we don't get 4 auto for winter weather driving on the road, but that's fine because all we care about is the 4 high and 4 low, which you can just go to whenever you want. There's no discussion from the screen up here. There's no talking to your lawyers first. You just hit it and it's there, super easy. We also have, because of FX4, we have this cool little mountainous scheme. It's like you're in Sedona and then you get tipsy over in Mojave and then you end up in Big Bear in California or something, or in the snow. Takes you to the off-road pages. The downside of this is it takes a second to load, as you can see right here. There it is, okay. And your diff lock is hiding right there.
I wish there was a physical button for that. That would be nice.
So hang on, if you get a non-FX4, you, instead of getting this setup down here, you get an actual button, just like you do the auto start.
So that's actually kind of the trick.
Kind of trick is not to get the FX4. Well, if you're gonna modify it anyways.
True.
If you want a factory setup, these factory plates are better than nothing. They're thin, but they're effective. We've destroyed ours. We'll put an image down there on that. We've absolutely destroyed our factory one. Thanks, Rival, for saving us on that. But you get your lock here and you get trail control right here, which is like off-road cruise control. Okay. I like that quite a bit. It's very easy to just toggle on and off. This one being the Lariat has a 360 cam. Look at that, dude.
That's a pretty good picture too.
Pretty good picture. Let's see what else we can do here. So you've got the 360 view.
Oh, okay.
Down here, okay. You still get your lines. I like that a lot. We've also got the forward view. So if you want to see, so this gives you like quadrants so you can see like what you're rolling up on. This helps you see the hill you're coming up on. And then you've got the rear view, which is pretty normal. And then you've got the hitch view. When you're backing up to a trailer, that is super helpful. What else do we have? What's this last one?
I'm in the way of one of them.
Okay, so it's looking back for tires. Okay, so you have options here. I will say, Craig, as much as I want to give this a ton of credit, I do think Toyota does a better job for the forward-facing front tire cam.
Yeah.
They do a better job with that.
Yeah,
anyways,
fair.
That is what it is. So in terms of drive modes, Craig, we have down here the world's worst drive mode selector. It actually has a ton of throw. You have to hit it once to even wake up the cluster. Let me show the guys up here what it gives you. Now we do have the better cluster because it's a Lariat. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Ours actually needs to be replaced and the part is on back order because they're so faulty. So we have modes: regular, eco, sport, trailer tow, which is a good one actually, slippery, mud ruts, and sand. What say you, Craig?
I think it's a mud ruts day.
Okay, so here's the deal. It rained a lot last night, and so we're gonna do a mud ruts. I don't think we're gonna like break through the surface, maybe, we'll see. So when you do that, it defaults to 4 high, and it's locked the rear diff. That's what's happened.
And so, yeah, it automatically does all that for you.
Yeah.
That's just part of the mode. I do like that Ford does that. That makes it simple. It's kind of like, okay, you need to do this, idiot. Sometimes we need that.
It's like a quick set configuration button.
Yeah, no, that's good. But you can still modify it from there.
Yeah, so I can just go in here and like, oh, I don't want the diff lock
her off, it's just off.
It's just off.
Boom,
No, but,
you don't have to do, yeah.
Oh, that was it, now it's locked again.
You don't have to switch a bunch of things, put in
heard it
different
click right
modes,
there.
drive mode, yeah. So that's really good. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do this mode without trail control, and then we're gonna see how it does and see if we can even get over it. If it works, then we'll try trail control, see how it does compared to Brian driving.
Well, and that's to make sure we actually clear the side steps because it's washed out since last time we drove this truck.
We got a little bit bigger climb now, so we need a little bit more breakover.
Let's see what we got.
Let's see what we got. The hill has washed out a lot because it's rained a bunch this spring, especially this month. And so this right here, this is a much bigger step than it used to be. We've got a lot to clear. We may have to cheat it some, we'll see. So we're gonna pay close attention to that because this is not our truck. Our Ranger, we didn't carry, we'd take it up there, plus we had the Rival bash plates. Don't have that on this. So let's see what we get. Rear locker's on?
Rear locker is on.
Brian, this is a product of your tires.
I was just gonna go there. I can smell the failure coming off this left front because it's burning. That one's not spinning because we don't have a front diff lock, but both rears are digging. So we've got effectively 3 wheels spinning because that's what these do.
Because these tires have 0 traction.
0 traction. All right, Craig, you want to tell people what we're doing real quick?
Yeah, so, you know, we kept mentioning the Firestone, the Firestones are so much better. We're gonna prove it. We got the same truck, same days, same hill, same conditions. let's just squash this myth, Brian, and see what the
so
difference is. Show them the tire that we're talking about.
We're not going to review the whole truck because
No.
we've got plenty on that, but for those that are new to the channel, here's what we're talking about. These are Firestone Destination XTs. Of course, they're white letter out, which means they're good for about 500 more horsepower and cool points. More importantly though, this tread blocking. So lots of siping, a lot more than the Goodyear had. It doesn't have the wagon wheel zigzag pattern. And if you look in the tread blocks, there's actually ridges in the blocks. This thing we've tested in multiple scenarios: rock, mud, sand, road. I mean, here's evidence right here of the rock park. This grips better than a KO3 or a KO2, which are known to be really high-end tires for off-roading, and a KM2. We've tested that as well. This has better adhesion in our experience. So we're gonna test it right now and just same day, same time, see if this, you wanna use trail control as well?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so the only difference mechanically is we have a 1-inch lift in the front, but that won't change our debate about grip at all.
Right.
So we're talking about just the tire difference here. Let's see what we got.
Same bad line.
And again, this is not an ad for Firestone. We're just tire dorks and we wanna prove it.
And we may be proven wrong. We're gonna
We'll
find out real quick.
yeah.
All right, so we're gonna actually use the exact same line like we mentioned. So we're gonna take up this bad line right here where the tire mark is from the awful Goodyears right there, and then we're gonna go up the exact same spot with trail control. Let's see what happens. I'm pretty confident these will be better, but it is wet today. That's why those other tires were spinning. We'll see if these first ones actually have more grip.
Trail control set to 2 miles an hour.
You dang right, buddy.
You darn Skippy. You ready for it?
Okay, Brian, they did have to work for it a little bit. I'll give them that. It is a wet condition.
That's true.
And slippery, I mean, no doubt.
Well, hold on. Can I get another point to Firestone?
Okay.
We just dug that rut a minute ago really hard with the Goodyears.
Right, good point.
If we'd started with this, I bet it would have walked up, no big deal. And we did not deviate the line. And I didn't do anything.
Oh, that was all trail control?
That was all trail control.
Are you serious?
It got super aggressive with the left foot braking. I was about to hit left foot brake and then it went woof right over.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize that was all trail control. That's pretty cool.
I had it set to 2 miles an hour. So that's what the difference. We ran at 1 and 3 with the Goodyears and it just wasn't doing it. Tires freaking matter.
Yep.
So all I can get at is tires matter, and also this engine has so much more character than the
Oh, this is,
2.7.
so look, the blow-off valve, and yeah, we got a lot of things in here in our suspensions making some noise, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
But we have all the bash plates too that actually lower our ground clearance a little bit.
They actually do, yeah, but they protect us better.
But they protect us better.
Back to our original point, Craig. Well, actually, our original point. We have once again turned a truck review into a tire review. So there you go.
Yeah, and I know it's silly, but we didn't want anyone to say, well, you didn't test it on the same day, the Firestone's really can't be that good, you're paid by Firestone. No, they're really better, and that just proves it. They had to work for it, but trail control worked for it. Brian, you didn't work for it.
I didn't do it. I fell asleep.
Look, once again, they really are the best all-terrain tire we've ever put on a vehicle.
Yeah.
They're just that good.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Take it easy.